you a stiffy or a chubby guy? Oh, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Deep Drop. First show for 2023. Have a listen to the celebrations, Adam. Luke McCredden here. Adam Ring is with me as always. And Adzi, how about that, mate?
Yeah, that's nice. That was awesome that we got together, Luke, for the love of the game and recorded this episode at 12:01 on
12:01.
the first of this year as the fireworks were going crazy.
Oh, they're still going crazy. Have a listen to that. Wowee. 2023 has arrived, Adam. Unbelievable. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, mate. It still doesn't seem. It still seems a bit weird that we're saying 2023, but it's all fun and games.
It's amazing. It's great. I'm very much looking forward to this year with the Deep Drop and with your good self, my friend. So let's get stuck in. But hey, welcome everybody out there. And if you've had some big celebrations, then you're probably feeling a bit under the weather. So just kick back, just get yourself a glass of water and just chill out for a bit and give yourself half an hour of listening to the Deep Drop, and it might just soothe your shakes.
Yeah, that's right. Like if this show doesn't sober you up, nothing will.
But it's great to be back for another year, that's for sure, and we're very much looking forward to it. We've got a big show, so Ads, I reckon we get stuck straight into it, mate.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm ready.
What is your fishing New Year's resolution?
Luke, this is one I think about on the 1st of January every single year. And to be perfectly honest, I don't reckon I've followed through with any of them. But it's a fun game. It's a fun game that we play. And I think for me personally, heading into 2023, there's a couple of things I want to focus on when it comes to fishing.
Okay.
One is my absolute arch nemesis, which I've been trying to do for years, and I've decided this year's going to be the year. Now, for those who do know me, and even for those that don't, I enjoy lure fishing in the estuaries, whether it be for bream, whether it be for estuary perch, flathead, all that sort of good stuff. I love it.
Yep.
I'll always love it. And after all these years, I haven't been able to master the art of catching fish on hard bodies.
Yeah, right.
I've tried. Mate, have I tried.
Mm.
I'll cast those damn things 3 times and get over it and just put a plastic back on and start catching fish. So this is going to be the year for me, Luke. I'm going to work out and master the art of using a hard body for those estuary species that I dearly love to target whenever I can. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to solve the consistency problem.
Right.
Actually going fishing consistently.
Yes, okay.
Me, like a lot of people, very good at talking myself out of it. Oh, it's a little bit windy. Oh, it's too far away. It's a full moon. I'm not going to catch anything anyway. Oh, the tides don't really marry up to when I want to go. I'm just going to go.
Just going to go.
Even if I can't be bothered putting the kayak on, go for a walk somewhere and have a few casts.
Yeah, nice. Would you think this will assist with the hard body situation?
Yeah, possibly. It should to a normal person.
Yes.
But like I said earlier, I am very susceptible to having 3 casts go, nah, not feeling this.
Yeah, when it comes to hard bodies, are you a stiffy or a chubby guy?
Yeah, well, you know what, Luke? I'm glad you asked. Because yeah, that's a good question. It's a little bit sad that I've become quite fond of the softie, which is a little bit strange, but
that's out of your control, though. I think, isn't it? As you age,
but you know what? Ask me on December 31, 2023, and I'll let you
Yes.
know if I prefer a stiffy or a chubby.
All right, good. That'll be a good episode. Tune in for that one. 12 months time. No, that's good. No, but I think that's all. That's good. That's fair. Like, I mean, consistency pays dividends for any form of fishing, and the hard body thing. It's funny because we've had that conversation over the years, and it has been a nemesis of yours. You've had nightmares about it.
I can't work them out. They do my head in. I don't know whether to slow roll, twitch, pause, roll and then twitch, or just pause and roll, and I don't know, mate. It does my head in.
That was confusing to listen to.
Yeah, try actually throwing the stupid.
Yeah, good one. Good one. You know, for me, I think it's about visiting new places. I really want to branch out and visit new, and it doesn't have to be like I really want to fish in different parts of the country, different states, but also just new locations that get you really out of your comfort zone, even if they're just around the corner, right in your backyard, and you don't necessarily look at them all the time. But there's plenty of areas that you might skip because you go, I don't know it well enough. Well, I want to say this time round, this year, say, all right, well, that's a challenge. That's a challenge, and it's time to put my big boy pants on and go and have a crack.
Nice. Well, I'll propose this to you, Luke. Write down a handful of those places, and I don't need to write down catfish and hard bodies. I think we've all made it pretty clear that they do my fucking head in. But we'll catch up on this podcast say quarterly.
Yep.
We just kept each other on track.
Okay.
Hey, Luke, how you going with that? Have you visited any of those places yet?
Yeah, good. All right.
And then I'll let you know how I'm going with my hard body venture. Maybe I'll join you in a couple of your places that you're trying to work out, and I'll bring nothing but hard bodies, and we can both fail at using them together.
It's bound for failure, but we'll have a go. That's for sure. But I think what I'd love to hear in this one, and this is really, let's be honest, this is why this question was posed, because I would love to hear from the people out there listening about your fishing resolutions. And if you even normally do it, it's not typically something I would do in general. I don't do the whole life resolution either, but
No.
I think a lot of people might. And if not, maybe just for the sake of it, give us your thoughts on what it might be this year if it was something that you were to do. If there's something that you think 2023 is my year for this.
Well, the other thing I did think of, Luke, and I am going to do this personally, and I know you will too, because we do fish together quite often, and I put this to all the listeners out there in podcast land as well. If you're not quite sure what you want to do as a fishing New Year's resolution, go back and have a listen to a few of the earlier episodes of the Deep Drop, because I know I am, and I already have, and I'll continue to go back. I'm just making notes of little things of questions that we've asked on the podcast, Luke, and you and I have tackled from a theory standpoint. Now, some of the things, a lot of these questions we draw from our own experiences anyway, but little things like the prawn style lures, for example, or on one episode, you and I spoke about fish that you can or can't catch on top water.
Yeah.
All these little bits and pieces. I'm going to try and answer a few of our own questions in a practical sense.
Yep.
And try and work out our own answers. Like I said, we draw on our own personal experience for a lot of these, but at the same time, we do tackle these from a theory perspective.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back and try some of those things.
Definitely. Like, that's absolutely. And we've said all along too, one of the things we're doing on this Deep Drop podcast journey is learning. And it's constant learning from when we get the feedback from the listeners or on Instagram, whatever it is. It's great. Last week on the last episode, we did obviously the fishing challenges. So maybe, just thinking about it now, maybe that could be my plan for 2023 is to tick off. Obviously, the idea is to do it over summer. I'm not that talented. So I think maybe I need to just make that my 12-month plan as opposed to 4 weeks.
Any plan's better than no plan, Luke.
Are there things to make fishing with kids a bit easier?
Yes, Luke, there's one huge thing that all of us anglers can do to make it easier for kids to go fishing. not take them.
Oh, now come on. Come
No,
on.
I don't mean that. I am.
No, I'm with you though.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Said it.
Yeah.
Luke, I am the father of two beautiful young girls. Well, one not so young, just about to be a teenager. They don't show much interest in fishing at all. Funnily enough, the only time they did was in lockdown when we were allowed within 5 kilometres. And I said we could go fishing down to our local that was in 5 kilometres so that they didn't have to start their schoolwork on time. So that was about the only way I could get them into it.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on what you're doing. I think you got to make sure you got to be prepared for a short session.
Yep.
Not a marathon 13-hour overnight epic.
Yes.
Bring lots of food.
Yep.
And like I said, just be prepared to call it. If they start getting ratty, call it.
There's very much a few things that I always look to, and I actually, funnily enough, recently wrote an article for We Are Explorers. I'm not sure if anyone out there listening is familiar with We Are Explorers, but you can go to weareexplorers.co and check it out. And it's basically an article around how to get your kids into fishing while avoiding disasters. And it's just based on pure experience. But just to touch on a few of the points from there, and first and foremost, kids are fair weather anglers. And we joke that we are at the moment, ads at this point in our lives.
Yeah, no, happy to put my hand up for that one.
But not even remotely as fair weather as kids are. Choose a sunny day. Don't go when it's raining. Light winds or no winds preferable. And in gentleman hours. So don't get them up at 3 a.m. to go to a busy boat ramp to wait in line for an hour and then battle 15 to 20 knot winds with a drizzle. They're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. And they're not going to want to do it again. So that would be the first one for me. Fair weather fishermen. Keep that in mind. The other one was, as you touched on too, keeping it simple. Less is more in a lot of ways. Don't take, like you and I've laughed sometimes at some of the trips we've been on, ads. You and I have gone away for maybe 2 days and we've filled the car full of fishing tackle. Like, how the fuck?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what are we doing? And we're not touching half of that while we're away.
No.
But less gear is more with the kids. Like, you really simplify things. The smallest tackle box you can get with the smallest amount of hooks and sinkers and swivels you're going to need, a spool, a leader, and a knife and pliers, and you're done. And honestly, like, one rod, one reel. Don't do the old what we're so used to and just loading the car with rods because I might need that. I might need it. I'm not sure. You've got to put your own fishing ego away, so to speak. So it doesn't matter what gear you've got either. So it doesn't have to be the big brands. It doesn't have to be the newest and latest. We're talking about kids who don't give a shit about brands or the the level of what their gear is at, as long as it's capable of doing what they need to do, which is more often than not wind their bait in every 3 to 4 seconds after it hits the water. So that is fairly key. Now, one of the biggest things that you will no doubt agree with me on here, and I make this point and I call it to go fishing with the kids, but turn it into a picnic. The number one thing you got to do is just bring food, water, water, and more food.
Yeah, 100%. You're exactly right though. Make it a picnic that involves a couple of fishing rods.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also, you also said too, put your ego away. You couldn't have spoken a truer word. Take advantage of your local waterway that gets stocked with trout.
Yeah.
Like, understand when they get stocked because it's going to be the best. And it's easy to find out. Just Google it and you'll find it.
Yeah.
Because catching something is the quickest way to keep them going.
Yep.
So take them where they're the best chance at catching something.
Another personal experience is my local pier down on the Bellarine Peninsula is great for going out halfway down the pier, so not even near the end, knowing I can put a bit of burley in the water and there'll be toadfish and wrasse. And my kids love it. And they couldn't care less what a toady means to anyone else or the little annoying sharp-toothed wrasse means to anyone else. Mate, they're fish. And that's all that matters at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. They just need to see something come up. Like you said, a toady.
Oh, toadies.
Yeah, wrasse.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
You
You're
can
right.
torpedo them back over the edge of the pier when you're done.
Just don't teach them how to drop your potatoes. What?
And finally, and you touched on this as well, make it a good time, not a long time. I would, again, just personal experience, I reckon an hour is absolute max we spend on a pier at the moment. And I know there's lots of people go, I take my kids out in the boat for 4 hours. That's cool, awesome. But my youngest especially, well and truly by an hour, is well and truly had enough. He's eaten all the food, drunk all the water, gone for 3 wee breaks, and he's getting restless. And that's fine. And you say to him as you're walking back towards the car, have you had a good time? Yep, loved it. If you force them to stay there for another hour or another 10 minutes, another 15, mate, it could be the make or break of having a memorable trip and making them want to come back to making them think that was shit. I hated every minute of it.
Yeah, and that includes if you start catching fish too. If you start catching fish and they start losing interest, kill it.
Yeah.
Just get them out of there. You're right. If they leave on a high, they'll want to go back because they'll very quickly. Well, even take us who know what to expect when it comes to fishing. Right? We could catch 4 fish in the first hour, then not catch anything for the next 8. Get back to the car, the boat ramp, the campsite, and go, well, that was shit.
Yeah.
Because you forget about the first hour where everything happened because you just went through a 7-hour grind after it to try and wait for the next thing to happen. Kids don't want to do.
No, and you're right too. And if you happen to stumble upon an amazing bite of King George whiting that are all 50 centimetres and the kids want to go home, it hurts, but you got to go.
You've got to go.
And I think that sums it up for me. The only other 2 that I'll add, which aren't necessarily things to make fishing with kids a bit easier, but just things to keep in mind too, and is safety is super, super important. We're talking about little kids here who don't understand how powerful water is, whether it be a river, lake, ocean, bay, whatever, estuary. Yeah, I can't stress enough just making sure that the things that we take, we'll just wade out into a river, no dramas. If we trip over, we'll have a laugh, but kid trips over, it's a different story. The other one is, if possible, use that time to educate as well, because we're in this amazing situation now where we've got so much information on so much of our waterway that just try and use the time you're out there while they're up and about, just to throw them a few fun facts while you're out there, and it can help environmentally as well. So anyway, that's about. I reckon there's plenty there. It's not easy, so don't think that it feels like a bit of a chore, but do it because it'll get easier and easier and easier, and they'll get more and more into it.
Yeah, and then they start bugging you that they want to go all the time.
Yeah.
And that's good. It means they love it. They want to go.
Absolutely. And then you can start making some serious memories. That's what it's all about. Why hasn't anyone started an on-water bait delivery service?
Oh, Luke, how many times have we had this discussion over the years?
I don't want to harp on it, but we've come up with some ideas on this show that I think, revolutionising the way we think about fishing. This one's not a new idea. I feel like we've been talking about this for 15 years, Ads.
Every snapper trip we've ever done, we've had this conversation on the boat or at some stage through the trip. It seems like a no-brainer, doesn't it?
It does. It does, but I've been trying to think about why not. Why wouldn't it happen?
There's no way that it wouldn't work. But the cons are gnarly.
Okay,
there's some cons there that I reckon are probably the reason it's not happening.
What are the cons?
It would be a logistical nightmare.
Yep.
As in, you're relying on GPS marks.
Yeah.
Now, if someone doesn't have the GPS set up right, if they don't know how to read it, and even realistically, with the GPS marks, you're kind of sending someone into the vicinity of where the boat is. Then, could you imagine, once it's established and everyone knows what you're doing, can you imagine how many times people try and wave you down while you're trying to make a delivery to the person that actually ordered it?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But, you don't see pizza delivery drivers getting waved down, do you? Or maybe they should. How hungry are you? Jump in front of the car.
True.
Or bike. There's bicycles that get around now with food.
True. Or old mate who's sitting at 18 metres off Carrum anchored up for snapper, runs out of pillies. And then the bait boat comes out and needs to dodge and weave his way through 45 other boats that are anchored in the same area.
That's
and
tough.
each one of them's pegging sinkers at him because he's too close.
Okay. So let's just break it down. Let's use let's strip it apart a bit here. Let's use Port Phillip Bay from September to December, right? Is the month in service. The months in service. There's a boat moored at Patterson River, and the boats head out. Mid-morning, a few boats start getting short on bait, so the calls start coming in. The guy's got frozen bait, it's all on ice, it's all good. And then they start heading out to these locations. You're right, there's 750 billion boats out on 18 metres off Carrum. Maybe there needs to be collection points then. So they have to sacrifice their anchorage, which is going to be a tough one because if they're on a bit of a bite, they won't want to. But to avoid that issue of the sinkers getting thrown, maybe it's a collection point, and there's several of them. So the people who want the bait come to get it. They know where it is.
All right. What about this scenario? That seems like a great idea. Then what happens that old mate comes cruising up to the collection point in his very first boat that just happens to be a 6.5 metre Stabicraft. He's got no idea how to use it. Can you imagine him trying to pull up next to
another
a boat to pick up some bait?
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just put the bait in a big long-handled net and just try to hand it. But But in all honesty, though, like in America, they do this with live bait. Have you seen? You've seen the bait boats? So they
no.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Florida. I don't know why, but I just feel like that's the area. But they'll go out and they'll pay cash money and get old mate who's been out there netting live bait and has a big live well. It might be, I don't know, let's say $20 a net full of live yakkers or whatever it is, whatever they are over there. And these guys are going out,
Really?
then just filling their live tank, saying, thanks, champion, see you later. Yeah, look it up. I need to find. I'll find it. I'll find a link to whatever it is, and I'll put it on Instagram. So people that are listening, if you want to check it out, I'm sure I haven't dreamt this up. I'm certain I've seen it on YouTube, and it might not even be America. I just feel like it is. But anyway, I'll look for it. I'll find it.
That's legit.
So if people are doing that with live bait, surely a block of pilchards can't be that hard.
I think the key would be have some really strict rules on how it works. It needs to be accessible. It needs to be easy, but you kind of also need to be in charge. You can't be launching from Patterson River and going to deliver bait at St. Leonard's.
No.
It'd cost you a fortune in fuel.
No, it'd be very specific to that area.
You could be onto something with your idea of you're the stationary one.
Yeah, I reckon. And open it up, like I said, if you've got another esky full of cool drinks or coffee machine, let's open this up.
Oh, imagine like a floating cafe. That'd go off.
What about an actual... No, this is getting silly now. An actual structure. An actual structure. You know, like the big
a
dirty,
rig or something.
The dirty big things down the south part of Port Phillip Bay with the stinking seals all over it?
Yeah.
That's what would happen, though. That's what would happen, wouldn't it? The stupid
I don't
seals
know,
would
though,
make
if
it
you set
home.
it up. Yeah, I don't know. If you set it up with like snipers and stuff.
Yeah. I'd like that. Or like, you know how they've got the spikes for birds? Just have like harpoons
seal spikes.
Try jumping on here, Mr. Seal. Dead. No, come on. We're not about that on this show.
Yeah, no, we're not. Definitely not.
Anyway, it's food for thought. I don't know. It's an idea. It's a business idea. If anyone out there right now, we've just sort of, on the back, we're starting the new year. We're on the back of Christmas. Everyone's considering their career and, thinking, do I want to go through another year of this? Pull the pin. And invest in on-water bait delivery service. And if you're open to it, have other stuff on there. Food and drink.
Yeah.
Coffees. Whatever.
It feels like it would be such a gold mine. I'd love
It'd be
to
seasonal, very seasonal.
Oh, it'd be very seasonal, but Just for shits and giggles, it would be awesome to actually send us your pitch.
Yeah.
We're not going to steal your idea, because I don't know about you, Luke, but I can't be bothered with it. But it would be interesting to see what we could come up with as a collective on how this would actually work.
Absolutely.
Because it seems like a no-brainer.
All right. Well, let's hear it from you guys. Get online, get on Instagram, and let us know. Like, we've got the tiles there. Find the tiles with the questions on it, and tell us your thoughts on anything like that bait delivery service. But I'm willing to open up to something in that vicinity. If you've got a different, slightly skewed version of that you think could work, let us know as well. But on top of that, Ads, let us know your fishing New Year's resolution. Can't wait to hear all those, and let's
there's some good ones there.
Let's put the pressure on ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, to have a bit of a crack. It's 2023. The fireworks continue to roll out, Ads, because the celebrations just continue here. And you know, like Adam said earlier, bit of credit to us. It's now about midnight on New Year's Day. We've stuck it out. We haven't had a beer all night.
We're not slurring. It's pretty good.
Fireworks are going off all around us. Adam's got third-degree burns on his leg from one of the fireworks. But
firework.
We're committed. But in all honesty, Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for sticking around with the Deep Drop, because we're having an absolute blast, and we can't wait to just another full year of the Deep Drop 2023 style.
Can't wait. It's going to be a big year, Luke. I'm excited. I can't wait to get stuck into a few of the New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
And send them through, because I'd be keen to see what our listeners plan on doing for the fishing calendar year.
Welcome to 2023. Thanks for joining us, and we will speak to you again in the next episode of The Deep Drop.